Welcome to Chasing Curiosity TV. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Tonight, the world holds its breath, gripped by uncertainty and anxiety. Tensions in the South China Sea have reached a boiling point, with the region teetering on the edge of conflict. The headline flashes across screens worldwide. China warns the Philippines as US and Japan warships enter the disputed waters, raising the stakes for all involved. The turquoise waters west of Palawan, once a symbol of natural beauty and abundance, have now become the stage for a dangerous geopolitical drama that could reshape the region. Three of the world's most powerful navies, those of the United States, Japan, and the Philippines, conduct joint exercises, their ships slicing through the waves in a show of alliance and strength. From across the sea, Beijing watches with fury and growing concern, issuing a stark warning to all who challenge its claims. The risk of miscalculation has never been higher, with every movement scrutinized and every decision carrying enormous consequences. On the bridge of the USS Ronald Reagan, sailors scan the horizon, their faces grim and focused, aware that a single mistake could spark a wider conflict. The Japanese destroyer JS Izumo and the Philippine frigate BRP Antonio Luna sail alongside, deep inside Manila's exclusive economic zone, their presence a message of unity and resolve. Just over the horizon, Chinese Coast Guard and maritime militia vessels shadow their every move, their intentions unclear but their presence menacing, a constant reminder of the tension simmering beneath the surface. Every maneuver is calculated, every radio call, deliberate. The crews know that even the smallest misstep could escalate into something far more dangerous. These crews know they're not just conducting drills, they're on the front line of a global power struggle, where the eyes of the world are upon them. The Chinese vessels, flying their flags defiantly in disputed waters, are a constant reminder that Beijing claims these seas as its own, regardless of international opinion. This is more than a territorial dispute, it's a direct challenge to the global order, with international law and the balance of power hanging in the balance. Filipino fishermen, blocked from traditional fishing grounds like Scarborough Shoal, watch the unfolding drama with a mix of hope and fear, their futures uncertain. Their livelihoods, passed down through generations, are threatened by a conflict far beyond their control, leaving entire communities in limbo. Today, as warships from three nations sail nearby, these fishermen hope that powerful allies will restore their rights. But they also fear that these waters, once a source of life, could soon become a battlefield. The choices made here in these contested waters will echo far beyond these waves, shaping the future of the region and perhaps the world. The world is watching, and the stakes could not be higher. In this moment, the fate of the South China Sea and the peace of the world hangs in the balance. This crisis is the result of years of simmering tensions and great power competition. The roots of this rivalry stretch back decades, shaped by shifting alliances, economic ambitions, and the relentless pursuit of influence in Asia. As both China and the United States have risen as global powers, their interests have increasingly collided, especially in strategic regions like the South China Sea. The South China Sea is a flashpoint, with overlapping claims from China, the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Taiwan, and Brunei. These disputes are not just about territory. They're about control of vital shipping lanes, access to rich fishing grounds, and the potential for vast underwater oil and gas reserves. China's sweeping nine-dash-line claim puts it at odds with its neighbors and international law. Despite a 2016 ruling by an international tribunal rejecting much of China's claim, Beijing has continued to assert its dominance, often ignoring diplomatic protests and legal challenges. Over the past decade, China has built and militarized artificial islands, projecting power far from its shores. These massive construction projects have transformed once remote reefs into fortified outposts, complete with airstrips, radar systems, and missile batteries. These outposts now serve as forward bases for the Chinese military, shifting the regional balance. They allow China to monitor, control, and potentially restrict access to key maritime routes, raising concerns among neighboring countries and the wider international community. The US has responded by increasing its presence, conducting freedom of navigation operations, and strengthening alliances. American warships regularly patrol these contested waters, signaling Washington's commitment to keeping sea lanes open and challenging China's expansive claims. For the Philippines, Chinese vessels have routinely blocked and harassed their ships, pushing Manila to seek stronger security guarantees from the US and Japan. These confrontations have heightened tensions and forced the Philippines to navigate a complex web of diplomacy and defense. This pattern of coercion has set the stage for a more unified response to Beijing's provocations. Regional alliances are being strengthened, and international pressure is mounting as more countries voice their concerns over China's actions. The South China Sea is now a central arena for global rivalry, where military, economic, and diplomatic interests intersect. The outcome of this contest will shape the future of the Indo-Pacific and the world. In a powerful show of unity and shared purpose, the United States, Japan, and the Philippines have come together to launch joint maritime exercises, known as the Maritime Cooperative Activity, right within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. This collaboration is not just a routine drill, but a significant demonstration of their commitment to regional security and mutual support. At the heart of this operation is the U.S. Carrier Strike Group 5, led by the formidable USS Ronald Reagan. This group brings overwhelming firepower and advanced technology, symbolizing the United States' enduring presence and its readiness to defend its allies in the region. Japan's JS Izumo, a state-of-the-art helicopter destroyer now capable of operating F-35B stealth fighters, marks a new era of Japanese security engagement. Its participation signals Japan's growing role in maintaining peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific. The Philippine Navy, though smaller in size, proudly leads key maneuvers in its own home waters. Their leadership in these exercises highlights the importance of defending their maritime territory and upholding national sovereignty. These drills are about more than just practice, they send a clear message to the world. An attack on one is a concern for all. The exercises strengthen trust and coordination among the three nations' navies. For the Philippines, these exercises not only bolster their naval capabilities, but also reassure the Filipino people that their allies stand firmly with them in times of uncertainty and challenge. This is integrated deterrence in action, combining diplomacy, economic cooperation, and military power to prevent conflict and maintain peace in the region. By conducting these high-profile drills in contested waters, the Allies draw a firm line in the sand, making it clear that international law and freedom of navigation are non-negotiable principles that must be respected by all. The world is watching closely, observing how far this alliance is willing to go to uphold peace, stability, and the rule of law in the South China Sea. The stakes are high and the message is unmistakable. Unity and resolve will shape the future of these vital waters. Beijing's response was swift and furious. China condemned the drills as provocative, warning the Philippines against involving non-regional forces. The Chinese military launched its own naval and air patrols, releasing footage of fighter jets and live fire drills. They were a direct counter to the trilateral exercises. The risk of miscalculation soared as armed forces operated in close proximity. Beijing's narrative: the U.S. is a declining power trying to contain China, with the Philippines and Japan as pawns. But this ignores Manila's agency and its right to defend its interests. With so many warships and aircraft in the same waters, a single mistake could trigger escalation. Beijing's show of force meant to deter has instead raised the risk of conflict. The region stands on a knife's edge. Despite Beijing's threats, the Philippines and its allies remain resolute. Manila reaffirmed its right to conduct exercises with partners in its own waters, undeterred by intimidation. The U.S. Secretary of Defense declared America's commitment to the Philippines ironclad, referencing the Mutual Defense Treaty. An armed attack on Philippine forces in the South China Sea would invoke U.S. defense commitments. Japan echoed its support, calling the joint drills vital for Indo-Pacific stability and freedom of navigation. This unified front challenges China's divide-and-conquer strategy. The Philippines is no longer isolated, its security is visibly linked to powerful allies. China's aggression is driving its neighbors closer together. The message to Beijing intimidation is backfiring. The coalition's resolve is clear. The world is witnessing a new era of alliance in the region. The greatest threat isn't open war, but China's gray zone tactics, coercive actions that stop short of triggering a military response. China uses its Coast Guard and maritime militia to harass and block other nations' vessels, maintaining plausible deniability. Water cannon attacks and swarming by hundreds of militia boats have become routine, especially around Second Thomas Shoal. These tactics exhaust and intimidate the Philippines, slowly eroding its presence. The psychological toll is immense. Beijing aims to wear down resistance over time. The challenge for Manila and its allies counter these tactics without sparking a wider conflict. The battle for sovereignty is fought day by day, not with decisive battles but with relentless pressure. The South China Sea is about more than territory. It's about economic power and the rule of law. 1/3 of global maritime trade passes through these waters. Any conflict would disrupt the world economy. Beneath the sea lie vast reserves of oil and gas, crucial for energy-hungry nations like the Philippines. China's expansive claims and patrols block others from accessing these resources. In 2016, the Permanent Court of Arbitration ruled in favor of the Philippines, invalidating China's 9-dash line. China rejected the ruling, doubling down on its activities. The question, what is the value of international law if powerful nations ignore it? For Manila and its allies, upholding the ruling is about defending the principle that all nations must follow the same rules. The standoff in the South China Sea is a dangerous turning point. With so many military and paramilitary vessels in close quarters, the risk of accidental conflict is high. A single miscalculation, a collision, a water cannon attack causing casualties, could trigger a rapid escalation. The US-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty could draw America directly into conflict with China. The global consequences would be catastrophic, shattering economies and risking wider war. The challenge: deter aggression without provoking war, while keeping communication open to prevent disaster. For China, the choice is clear: continue coercion and risk isolation, or seek a diplomatic off-ramp. The current pressure cannot last forever. Something must give. The South China Sea is more than a regional dispute. It's a test of the global order. The US and its allies champion a rules-based system. China's actions challenge that vision. If Beijing succeeds, it sets a precedent for other powers to ignore international law. The Philippines' pivot to stronger alliances is a sign of shifting regional dynamics. Other nations are watching, recalculating their own security strategies. The unity of the trilateral alliance could inspire a broader coalition to defend the rules-based order. The stakes: will the 21st century be defined by law and cooperation, or by coercion and power? The answer is being written now, in the contested waters of the South China Sea.